Hi,
Hello. How are you?
I'm beautiful. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm absolutely feeling incredible.
That's
How are you
awesome.
feeling?
I meant to text you yesterday. I'm feeling a lot better. Like I don't have no more stomach problems. I did the
Good.
spoonful with honey and salt, and then the On Guard oil.
Right.
Worked like a charm. Worked
Yeah.
like a charm. Did charcoal in the morning, and
Good.
then I did it a couple times throughout the day. Um, like that. As soon as I switch over to that, it like just helped me out a lot. Like and literally like by like Saturday evening, I felt like a lot better. Like I felt normal. I saw my abs again, and I was happy. But yeah,
Mm. Wait, I'm trying to fix my volume here. Okay. And now trying to find you guys. Oh, there we go. Okay. Eli, I was gonna tell you, Tamara and I were talking today about our my mom's surprise party tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
And we're so sad because we have to come up with all these excuses of why we're not going to be able to have dinner with her tomorrow. And we feel so bad because she's like, nobody wants to spend time with me. And she feels like we're like forgetting about her.
Oh man.
But little does she know we're literally
Little,
going to be at the house.
little does she know.
Little does she know. I know.
I'm gonna buy the plants tomorrow. I think during my lunch break, I'm gonna go buy the plants.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you pick out. But these are so cute. Alex, did you get your watercolor?
uh,
That's
I have
probably
my
in the mail.
watercolor.
Yours is probably in the mail already. I just got mine today.
Oh yeah, I have not seen it. I haven't checked my mailbox yet.
Okay, look, we just got this is Eli's and this is
That's so
mine.
cool.
There's a little
The
take home
Michaels,
gift. Aren't they so cute?
um, they are really cute.
I
I have to
love
check them
them.
out.
Yeah. Hello, Michael.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah. I'm phenomenal.
So good to see
Wow.
everyone. We just
Yeah, it's
got the
crazy. We took
mail.
a little break. Now
We
we're
just
back
got the
on.
little watercolors. It's showing Alex.
Oh,
Hi.
you got them already? What do you think?
I love them. The paper texture is so nice. Like
Hey, this
I
looks so
will,
cute.
yeah.
these are the little gifts that we got after the retreat. Michael's girlfriend watercolored for us, and they wrote
Nice.
notes on the back.
That's so sweet. I love that.
Just the texture of the paper, it feels so good. I'm like,
Yeah, she's got a good eye for that. I mean,
I just
there's a
want.
certain type of paper you need, but yeah,
Nice.
Oh, it's
that's awesome. Alex, you should have got yours. I sent you, I don't know if you got yours yet, but
I have not checked my mailbox, so I have no idea. To be honest.
you're gonna love yours, bro. It's great.
Okay, I'll be stoked for it. I said it in the chat.
yes,
It's legendary. Eli, do you understand why Eli got? Do you understand why Eli's
yes.
is
Wait.
show it to
I need
Eli.
some explanation.
No, just look.
What is it like curly hair?
No, do you
No,
see what this is?
look at it. Look at it.
I got it. I got
It's between you and Alex.
yeah. Love Island.
Oh,
Alex, do you get it?
I forgot about the Love Island.
I just realized that. I was like, wow, that's a really pretty bird. Like that's so amazing. And then
That's so funny. No,
no,
it's
it's
definitely a pretty
just a
bird, but
peacock.
there's some meaning behind it.
Yeah,
It is a
that's
beautiful
crazy.
bird. I'm like, it's
Nice.
because I didn't get it until you just said it. I was like, it's probably because like Eli's one of a kind and he's so beautiful and yeah, that was really
I
funny.
forgot to show you guys. I got my first tattoo.
Show us.
Wow.
Uh, I'll text it in the group chat, but it's
Okay.
pretty sick. They're doves. I got doves because the symbol for like the Holy Spirit and how He already
Mm,
dwells on me. And when He landed on Jesus, since the Holy Spirit is full of the fruits of the Spirit, so I got that tatted on. Yeah, pretty
nice.
sick.
Can't wait to see it.
I
Yeah.
do.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
So good to see everyone.
All right. Wow, I think this is everybody.
Yeah,
Thanks
let's
for
get
joining
rolling.
us all. We took a little break. We're switching to every other Monday, which I think is a lot better. We're able to kind of come on and really dissect some deeper topics. And so thanks for coming on, everybody. This is Wellness Mavericks. We're a group of young adults, like-minded. We come here, we come on and we learn every other Monday now. Tonight, we're blessed with Eli, who's gonna who's gonna teach us about some AI and whatnot. So we're learning AI does not make you dumb, and then Eli's gonna tell us why, and we're gonna talk about it. So at the end, we're gonna go in and maybe have some questions, and we can ask Eli. I'm learning. I'm gonna grab my journal here. I'm learning just as much as y'all are because I don't know a lot about AI, but it's gonna be a really cool topic. And then I believe 2 weeks from now we're gonna do another AI topic with someone else. So this month will kind of be in that theme. And so if anyone has anything to share, would love to hear it. But yeah, Eli, floor is you, bro.
All right, man. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. So thank you for having me on. I feel very appreciative. So I think the inspiration from this is quite obvious, as some of us might know. When we were in a wellness retreat, one of the conversations that came up was AI and kind of the usage of it, and how there's a lot of studies right now that's showing kind of the negative effects of AI. So you see things like in schools, a lot of professors. I was actually talking to a teacher a couple weeks ago how she's having a humongous issue with AP classes. It's like advanced placement for those who might not know. In high school courses where there's massive use of AI usage. So like for testing and papers, people writing papers, like the way AI can write a paper. I mean, you could tell it's AI, but you can't at the same time. Like you really have to look into like the more detail you write a prompt in AI, the more like surreal it looks, the more human it looks. So like for a lot of teachers, they can't really detect it, so they use AI tools, but some of those AI tools can't even like detect AI usage in student papers. So basically, kind of summing it up, I'm gonna talk about why AI does not make you dumb. I know that's the thing that's around a lot. AI is making you dumb, making the kids dumb. Our generation is gonna be all dumb, anything, but I promise you that's not the case. In fact, it's actually the opposite because I believe that if you are someone that knows how to utilize AI to your advantage and use it to your in your career, your job, whatever you're doing, you'll be the one that take the job of somebody who doesn't know how to use AI and they're just doing like a mundane task, right? So it's not AI that would take your job, but those who know how to leverage it will take those jobs. So I'm just gonna get into like some key points, kind of show you some sectors like in education, sort of how you can use AI in your everyday life, and also kind of how it can help you with unlocking creativity, can help you with projects, presentations, or whatnot. And I'm going to show a little demo in a little bit. Very simple demo. I just made it like 5 minutes, but just to kind of show you the power of AI and sort of what you can do with. It's not even just AI; it's also just automation because a lot of the times when we think AI, we think writing resumes, cover letters, like papers, but that's just the tip of the iceberg of AI, right? So it's just like 5%. I mean, the typical use of AI is that, but you can do so much more. So just to kind of start off with one key point, AI can enhance learning in the classroom and everyday life. So I'm not sure if we have any teachers here, but I used to work in an after school program for a couple of years. I can kind of see how AI can be leveraged in the education system. The biggest thing for put in the teacher's perspective is teachers. I mean, they're underpaid, right? They're underpaid. They have to purchase a lot of their school supplies, like the classroom supplies, from their own pocket, and then they also have to spend a lot of after hours working on lesson plans, right? Every day they need a lesson plan that follows the state's curriculum, and they need to tell like their supervisor, like the dean or the department head of their department what it is that they're going to teach each and every day. So that takes time, right? To create a lesson every day for a whole week. I mean, that's takes a lot of time, right? So there's a lot of tools that are being made out there now thanks to AI and something called LLM, which is language learning models, which is kind of what AI is, like ChatGPT. You have ChatGPT is the most popular one, but there's so many more, and it's crazy because every day there's a new AI being created, like a new language learning model. Um, and if you decide to kind of like attune yourself with the AI world and kind of be tapped into the AI news and what's going on, you're going to see how fast and how rapid things are developing with AI. I mean, just a couple of days ago, ChatGPT 5 came out, where it just came out with a significant enhancements. Where now with ChatGPT, you can create web applications, you can create live softwares, you can create dashboards now, presentations. ChatGPT couldn't have done that. Claude, something called Claude, it's another AI tool, was able to do that to create presentations, financial reports and whatnot. But now ChatGPT can do it. And then yeah, now they can even create videos, create music. It's like every day something new is coming with AI. Like every second something's coming out. Every second a competitor is coming out. So it's just rapidly advancing, right? And it's only been 3 years since AI has been made public. Anyway, that was a tangent. So tools like Magic School AI and EDU Aid AI help educators design lesson plans, create exercises, and save time for meaningful instruction, right? So instead of having, like, if you're a teacher and you have to go home, like let's say 5 o'clock, and then you're like, man, I really got to write a lesson plan for tomorrow. Not anymore. Let me just go to Magic School AI, type up a quick little thing. I'm gonna teach biology, cells, and like the earth. I just need a quick lesson plan, and then bam, I create it. Oh, and then I need to create exercises for it. Bam, it can generate that too, and then you can bring that to your classroom tomorrow, right? So it's not necessarily kind of, let's say, I guess the word you probably think is cheating. It's not. It's just saving yourself time to focus more on what's actually important, and that is educating the children, making sure that what the material you're delivering is understood, and making sure each and every child understands it. Because when you create lesson plans, you're probably staying up till like 10 p.m. Then you got to go to work tomorrow 4 a.m. and then you're gonna be tired, and you're not gonna be 100% with your class, your students, right? So things like this just help you, right? They just help you enhance. They help you leverage your time, utilize all these tools to better enhance your lesson plans and whatnot. But for everyday life, I'm sure some of you guys have already tried to do this before, but I mean, if you're a college student, one thing you can do is you can use these tools to act as a tutor, right? So a lot of the times when you want to search up a topic to understand more of like a certain area that's just not clicking with you, you go on YouTube or the internet, you try to find videos or tutors online, free on YouTube, and maybe they just don't click. You're just not a fan of how they're teaching. It doesn't click with your learning style. So let's say you have this tool like Magic School AI or EDU Aid AI, where it can just basically, you can tell this is my learning style. This is how I learn best. I like pictures, videos, I like diagrams. So this is the topic I'm trying to learn about. This is what I'm struggling with. Please teach me, I don't know, Pythagorean theorem, keeping in mind of my learning style and my preferences, right? And then it'll spit all that out for you, exactly the way you like to learn it. It'll take you step by step. And yeah, so I mean, it's really, all these tools are available. It's something to keep in mind as I kind of continue going. All these tools are available for all of us, but the biggest thing is to understand how to best utilize it, how to best give its directions, right? Because AI is not this like independent sort of human being platform that just sits there and does whatever it wants. I mean, we tell it what to do, right? I mean, humans created AI, right? So humans are the ones going to utilize AI and use it. So the more you give AI the more you give the language learning module through prompting, and prompting is when you go to, like, let's say ChatGPT, and you type, write me a gym plan for the week, right? That's called prompting, right? The more descriptive it is, the more detailed and the more length, the better the results you get, right? Because ChatGPT, um, what others? Gemini, Google Gemini, all these AI tools are predictive models, right? They're just predicting what you're giving them. They take something in, and then after that, they just predict what it is that you want, what results that you want, right? So the more you put in, the more accurate you're gonna get, right? And then there's a lot of ways to like kind of configure the results that you want through like temperatures and KPs and stuff, but that's like all technical and that's something you could discuss later. But yeah, so basically Classroom can help teachers leverage, they can help them reduce their time working on lesson plans, exercises, tests, uh, instructions, etc. And then also everyday life, I mean, you can use it to learn. It can be like your tutor, the little virtual tutor. You can use it for language learning too, is a great example. Something I did when I was learning Russian a couple years ago. I used it to give me sentence examples in a certain grammatical structure. And then I basically told it to like do some crazy stuff. Like one thing I did was I told it to write a short story in Russian about these monkeys that rob a bank. The weirdest stuff I just told it to do, and it was fun. It was cool. And then I just read it, and then I'll tell it, okay, you're gonna write the story, but make sure you include these keywords like hello in Russian, goodbye in Russian, banana in Russian, and then incorporate those words in the story in the results. So there's so many things you can do with AI, right? Another big thing is mainly more so automation, but also AI, is that it reduces mundane tasks, right? So that you can focus on what matters most. So there's this thing called AI agents, and it's basically the mainly research-based agents, right? These research-based tools, you can have it to, let's say you want to see the top houses in Zillow and the zip code. You can have it to where, because a lot of um, like AI tools are connected to the internet. So what they can do is they can access things like Zillow or LinkedIn, depending which tool you use. Some of them might not be compatible, but some of them can research. Like if you'd say, hey, I want to see the top houses in the zip code and the price range of 100,000, 150,000, right? And it can spit that out to you. It can give you the list, top 10 houses in this area, in this price range. Check it out. Here's a link, right? So things like that. You can do research, scheduling. You can do like calendars. You can, which kind of goes into the whole AI taking the job, like a secretary, which honestly, a lot of the times AI could. There's a lot of companies that are already incorporating AI agents into like Teams, Slack. So it kind of picks up, like those. We've all used it, like the Zoom note summary app tool. Those things like you can put it into your Zoom, and then after that, you can spit out the summary notes into like a Slack or a team so people can know what they need to do, action items. So that's another thing too. Another thing too you can do is you can build your own custom agent to have it complete task, right? So I'm gonna show an example right quick, actually. Hopefully this works. And let me share my screen. So give me 1 second. Okay. I have to get a request to share my screen. Okay, cool. One second. So I created a little AI agent to basically, okay, whenever I receive an email, you guys hear me okay? Okay. It just told me like it crashed. That's weird. Whenever I receive an email from somebody, let's say Gemma sends me a coffee invite, right? I'm created a little agent to where it's going to automatically put that in my calendar, right? So let's say I'm going to write an email here to my work email. Then nice meeting. So hi, Eli. Thank you for the time today. Let's meet for coffee. Right. Okay. So I just wrote an email here saying, let's meet for coffee this Friday on August 22nd at 12 p.m., thinking Starbucks. So I sent it, and there's this tool called Zapier, which is like a automation tool that you can connect third-party applications. See, can you guys see that screen? This right here? Okay. So, I mean, it's a little complex, but basically what I did was I just did to where every time I get a new email, it goes through ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is going to say a prompt here. I gave it like a custom prompt to look at the following email body that it receives from like the newest email, right? So it's basically going to check for four key details, and that is going to be an event name, start dates, end dates, time, and a meeting location. And then after that, what ChatGPT is going to do is going to print that out. It's going to print out the results. And then with this automation little snippet thing that I made, it's going to create a Google Calendar event. So let's see if it did that. It should be for the 22nd. It might take a little bit of time, but probably give it a second or two. But what it's supposed to do basically is just it creates a calendar event, which would be 12 p.m. Takes like a second or two. But while that goes, so yeah, so the things you can do that, and then also you can do like you can have it create detailed meeting notes, meeting agendas. You can have it create, you can even have it to create, let's say you have a meeting coming up with somebody. Let's say I have a meeting coming up with Michael this Friday. I can have an AI agent first detect that I have an event coming up with Michael. And then if I connect it with like LinkedIn and I connect it with like other platforms, I can tell it, hey, I need you to give me like notes on Michael. Who is he? What industry does he work for? What's his position? And it can just like give you all those in detail notes, very simplified. And like you can just read that before your meeting, go in the meeting and think, oh, I already know Michael, I know what he does, I know what he needs, I know what his pain points are, etc. It's supposed to work. It'll probably take a little bit. It should work at some point. And then last thing, so platforms to use if you want to do some things like automation, AI, would be ChatGPT, Claude, Zapier, NAN is another one too. Zapier is not really AI, it's more so just a third-party tool where you can connect things like Facebook, Instagram, Google Calendar, Meets, Teams. So you can, I mean, you can do so much with Zapier. It's honestly like the best platform ever. It's super, super cool. Let's see. Okay. And then last thing you can do with AI is you can unlock creativity and new skills for everyday users, right? So trying to see if this thing worked already. Okay, here it is. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen again. One second. Okay. So it's right here. So you see it says coffee, Starbucks, 12 p.m., August 26th.
It's not sharing the screen yet. Maybe we need to wait a second.
Okay, one second.
This, yeah, there you go.
Is it sharing?
Maybe try it again. Try to share screen again, and then it'll
Yeah.
attempt it again.
Okay, one second. Good.
There it is. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. My computer is a very new computer, yet slow. I don't understand how that works. So you see the event here is on Friday 22nd. So it says coffee, 12 to 1, Starbucks, coffee, and then whichever. So I didn't even tell it to, I didn't put an end date on the email, right? So the email that I received, all I said was 12 p.m. So I have it to where if there's no end time, like 12 to 2, 12 to 3, it just says 12 p.m. or 11 p.m., whichever, it will automatically just create an end time by adding an hour. I mean, that's an assumption, right, for a coffee day or whatever event. Yeah, so I mean, that's a very, very simple thing you can do. I mean, you can do a lot more. I just made that like in 4 minutes before this meeting, but it's very, very like you can do so much with AI and how you can automate mundane tasks. You can focus on more important things like how to grow your business, family priorities, obligations, and spending time with people you love, not having to be stuck doing things for hours and hours, typing away. That's something I don't like doing. I hope nobody else likes doing. And then the last thing, right quick, is so AI can also unlock creativity and new skills for everyday users. So now AI and AI tools can literally build web apps, softwares, and projects without advanced coding knowledge. So it's all through natural language, right? So through English, through languages we speak, right? All you have to do is tell it to create something and no creative, right? So you can generate presentations, track financial budgets, or analyze sales trends. And platforms you can use is a really popular one I'm going to show you right quick is Claude. It's called Claude. Let me share my screen again. Hopefully it doesn't crash this time. Okay. So I'm just going to I have a sample transaction here. So I'm going to drag it if I can. Second. So I'm going to attach a CSV file right here, right? And it's going to have some sample transactions. It has like date, merchant, category amounts. So it has like, let's say coffee, Starbucks, $5, whatnot. So I can say create a monthly expense based on the attached CSV file. Give me 3 key points to save money. No, create a monthly expense based. Something like that. Okay, so it's going to create. So usually, at least Claude specifically uses JavaScript or mainly JavaScript to kind of process a lot of data and to manipulate data sets and to create code, right? So it primarily sticks with JavaScript, unless you ask it to use a different language, but it's going to by default use JavaScript. So let's see what happens. I'm curious. And usually, like the more you give it, so I've done it to where I've given it like 6 attachments. So like 6 Excel files and like a bunch of files. And the more things you give it, the more it's going to take to produce the result. But with this one, it's like 20 or so odd rows. Okay, so now it's going to create. And this is all fake data. So if you say McDonald's, I promise I didn't go there. Okay, so you see it's already creating me everything I've spent for the month. It's creating a report. And then it's going to tell me some stuff here. So it gives you like key metrics, KPIs, strategies. So I guess we could start here. So total monthly expenses, 6,854. Average transactions, $137. And then it breaks it down. So transportation was that much, groceries spent that much. I didn't spend this, I swear. Other dining, entertainment, subscriptions. And then it goes into detail, like by store that you went to, that you shopped at. And then transportation, a lot of Ubers and Lyfts, a little bit of gas, Exxon, Shell. And then it gives you a key insight here. So only $160 of transportation costs are actually gas purchases, which that is the case. And the top spending categories would be transportation and groceries. They account for 34.8% of total expenses. And then also some other things it tells you here. But I mean, this is kind of just an example. Look, it even tells you here, immediate actions. If you own a car, use it more, even with parking cost, you likely save $600 to $800 a month. I agree. If you don't own a car, consider car saving, sharing Zipcar, Turo. Tells you solutions, long-term, combined monthly expenses. I mean, this is a very short, simple prompt I gave it, right? So, I mean, it's going to give me whatever it thinks whatever it thinks that I need to know, right? It's predicting what I need to know. It's all prediction. That's all it is. It's a predictive tool based on what it's been learning since it's created, and mainly what it's been learning, I mean, through the internet, through what it's been fed, and then what it learns from you too as you input more and more and more into your account. But you can make it super, super detailed. Again, the more you give it, the more it will produce. The more accurate results are produced. But yeah, so that's Claude, super awesome tool. And that's pretty much my presentation. So in summary, AI does not make you dumb. It makes you awesome and smart. And if you can leverage it and use it to your advantage, you can literally beat everybody that works in your company. That's what I'm doing, because a lot of people think that AI is just writing an email and a report and some resume, which that is like 0.1% of the case. If you know how to, if you have a mindset of, let's say there's something that you're doing in your life, you're like, man, I wish I can like automate this or reduce my time doing it. Like an Instagram post. I mean, scheduling Instagram posts is already an automation because you don't have to manually post the Instagram. It's going to do it for you at a later time. So if you can, let's say, have 10 Instagram posts and then you can automate it to where each week it sends it at a different time, or you can even automate Instagram post curations. You can do so much. The world is your oyster, So we have the internet, we have power. Go and be awesome. That's my presentation.
It's beautiful. I have a question.
Wow.
Mhm.
I have a question. What's the difference between the Chat GPT 4.0 model versus Claude?
So Claude is going to be more so like technical. It's mainly for coding. It does really well with coding. And it's actually is recommended to be used more than ChatGPT. I mean, if you're doing regular stuff, ChatGPT is fine. But a lot of people, at least in the AI community, recommend using a combination of Claude and then Gemini, Google Gemini.
Or like
So,
business stuff, scheduling, organizing, like what are we talking about? Regular versus other higher level stuff.
I'm thinking regular as in less technical. So like creating gym plan, like just simple things like creating gym plans, lesson ideas, creative things. Cloud would be more so technical, like coding, debugging codes. I mean, you get Cloud and all these tools are function the same, but there's certain tools that work better in like certain areas. So Cloud works better with coding. ChatGPT is better with like internet-based questions. Like if you have questions regarding things on the internet, like you want to research like Zillow or something, it connects with the internet, right? Cloud can't.
Okay.
So yeah.
I like
Wow.
what you said about, actually, I was going to make one more comment. I like how you said the framework around perceiving AI as an assistant so we can have more free time to spend time with the people we love, which is the core of human function. And if we can move that way, I'm far more behind ChatGPT versus it enabling us to spend more time in the virtual world. So I think it feels like there could be a gray line there. But if you know that your intent is to spend more time with the people you love, spend time in nature, and you're using AI and these automation tools to enable you to spend more time there as opposed to time behind a computer, I'm so much more behind it than I was before this call.
Yeah, and that's not even like, I mean, with people, of course, but also like business too, like leveraging it for business. I mean, a lot of companies, because I work my little side hustle is working as a automation consultant, and we work with clients that, especially law firms, accounting firms, they have to do a lot of mundane tasks, right? They're spending hours and hours typing, doing data entry, or having to do something that's so repetitive that can be automated so easily. Um, so they're spending a lot of time doing that and less time finding clients and expanding their business, right?
Mm.
Because how are you going to find new people and expand your business when you're just stuck behind a computer 5 hours a day focused on putting some data in entry or like a note entry for a client profile, So things like AI and automation, they help you remove a lot of that stuff off your plate and to focus on what really matters, and that is growing your business, making more money, and expanding and thriving. That's literally why AI is here.
Mm. I love it. I love
Yeah.
Wow. So that was really, really cool. I have a question for you for the other side, because obviously you are using this in an advantageous way to benefit you, but not everyone is doing that. So what do you say to the people, the ordinary person who is taking a more passive route, who's like, oh, everyone's using ChatGPT. Let me just use this as my new like go-to. What do you say for those people who aren't actively and intentionally using it to benefit them, but using it kind of just like carelessly and without intent? Because I have heard things about people using AI and then it's actually hurting their brains because and I don't know how true this is, but it's kind of similar to the Google effect apparently, where they're using ChatGPT or these AI places to get answers to where their brain learns that they don't have to store that information like we used to, like our ancestors did. So in a way, um, you're not retaining all that information because you're like, oh, I could just go back to my phone. So
Right.
what do you say to those people? Because in a sense, that would be making them more dumb if they can't retain more info. But obviously, you're totally different. But what would you say to that type of person, as far as your argument goes?
So what I would say mainly so the Google effect, right? That was actually one thing I was thinking about earlier. Because I mean with Google you type, let's say, how do I fix my car, right? You type it and then you get a list of results that come up and you click on whichever link you want to find, right? But with ChatGPT, and I think one thing kind of going back to what you're saying in terms of how an average, let's say, everyday
Right.
person can leverage it is that they can get more accurate results in terms of instead of having to dig through links and links and links that don't work for them, they get more accurate, precise answer from ChatGPT or from Cloud or from whichever tool you want to use from Gemini. Now, in terms of making you dumber, I mean, I think everything used in the wrong way is harmful, of course. I mean, you have to know how I say this, like you have to, of course, be aware, like be careful, because like anything you use in excess, it's going to be bad. Like your phone, if you don't use it, there's one thing using it as a tool, and then another thing using it as a distraction or as something that you're dependent on, right? We're not saying we're going to be dependent on AI or artificial intelligence, but it's just something that it has to be with intent. Like you said, you can't just use it for everything. You can't just have it write your paper. But what you can have it do is help you. It can be like a revisor. You can use it to see how your paper sounds. I think Michael froze. I don't even think he's. Try to screenshot this. Hold up.
I'm screenshotting it.
All right, screenshot. I don't even know if he's here.
Thank you, God. I had
Well,
a question about that, like where we can go with it taking our creativity or
mhm,
it making us more dumb, with it taking these bigger tasks away from us, like reviewing client profiles, remind me about this
mhm.
person, schedule this or whatever big thing it's taking away from me that it's causing me to sit at a computer is allowing me to put my pen to paper. Whether that's creating, oh, Michael just said his phone is tweaking. Whether that's creating a piece of artwork like Evelina just did for us with the
Right.
watercolors. That's
Because think about it, it's like
something
let's go
creative.
all the way back to like the 1950s, right? When the laundry machine first came out, the refrigerator first came out, vacuum. Everybody was like, "Well, I like washing my clothes by hand." Even the Russians said that.
And
Like,
you
why do
know
we do
that
that?
no matter how much clothes we can wash by the laundry machine, there's still clothes created that can only be washed by hand. And that's the beauty of garment creation because garment creation didn't become obsolete just because we have washer machines and the
Of course.
consumer rate only went up, you know, but there are
Of course.
still clothing garments that can only be washed by
Mhm.
hand, and that's the beauty of it. So I think there's still a potential for us to, I think where it can go in the future,
Mhm.
there will be an arc of like natural selection it'll go through, or
Mhm.
essentially, I use these terms interchangeably, but survival of the fittest in the journey of becoming dumber, potentially using AI when it takes authority over everything that you're supposed to be functioning as a human. Or creative writing, I think, is the biggest thing people are noticing it in schools, in universities, where there was a side-by-side study where a group of students was given access to AI to write their essay, and then there was another group of students who didn't get access, and their brains were scanned through that entire process. The ones who were not using AI had significantly more brain activity that leads to, down the road, stronger brain development and more memory and all of those things. Brain development is huge, especially in our early 20s. So and then the group that was using AI didn't have as much brain activity because the AI was doing the creative thinking for them. I think there's an element of that over time that can be detrimental because it's so popular for the young group of people. I think it's a different story when like 30 and older are using it because they've already had a lot of their heavy brain development take place and they've already occupied a certain part of their brain. They're already thinking bigger ideas in a sense because they've collected so much information. The gray matter in their brain is already spoken for, but there's a certain element of we as young people need to be diving into more handheld books or writing more things on paper, thinking our thoughts out, journaling or drawing and doodling, just like free flow art expression, so that we can occupy parts of our brain that AI can never really tap into. And I think that's the fear in this conversation, or that's the element in this conversation where we see people leaning heavily on AI on basic functions of creativity versus people who are using it to automate things that they don't need to be touching a computer for anymore and they can spend time with loved ones or leverage their time for genius and creativity.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I mean, every generation, right, there's always a danger with new technology. I mean, the same thing with smartphones, social media was a big one. And there's always going to be a certain negative effect. I mean, that's not to deny it, to belittle it, but that's just to kind of state that it's there. Um, I mean, it has, again, I think it just depends on the kind of person you are and then how we teach AI to children, right? Because that's the biggest issue right now is that AI is out. You can't just ignore that it's out. You can't just pretend like it's not there. It's here, it's happening. It's basically setting into companies, corporations, and schools, and employees are using it, students are using it, whether you like it or not. So it's a situation where you have to kind of get ahead and kind of teach while the students are using it, teach them how to use it correctly, use it ethically, to not use it for cheating, to not use it for this or that. I mean, I think the biggest issue with education systems right now is that they're seeing it as like this harmful thing, as this damaging tool for students that's gonna, rot their brains. But if they can get ahead of that and they can say, hey, let's actually, there's already tools coming out to leverage to help students learn better, like tutors. I mean, not every student learns the same, right? So they can help them with math problems. They can help them with writing papers. It's not about writing the actual paper, but to help them like format MLA formats to do other like citations or whatnot. So I mean, it's just a situation where you have to teach, you have to educate those on how to use that tool correctly and to use it ethically,
Yeah,
just like any other tool that's coming out.
That's
Um,
cool.
I
yeah.
like.
Do you think where do you see it? Where do you see it going with education system? I know that's totally general question.
Yeah.
I know, but where do you see that going? Because they literally can't control it. I mean, there's like
No. Yeah.
everyone's using it, you know?
Yeah, that's the hard. I mean, they're trying to suppress, like they're trying to do things like create AI, detecting tools to like detect whether someone's using AI on their paper or not. I mean, that's one
Hmm.
thing that they're doing now. They're also trying to just completely ban it, doing the trust system, just trusting that, they like, before you take a test, there's like this thing you sign is like, I, Eli Quesada, am now using AI or something along those lines. You have to sign it, right? So they're doing things like that. So I mean, it's very like band-aid kind of cosmetic solutions. So it's nothing that's actually like sustainable, nothing scalable, or something that's going to actually last long. It's gonna break very quickly, and students are gonna do it anyways. So where is it going? Honestly, I don't feel like I have an answer to where it's gonna go in the education and like education wise, but I think the only way for it to go good is if teachers, administrators, are like leaders in the education system are, if like they're aware of it and they learn it themselves, they understand the power of it and how to teach it and to educate the students to leverage it rather than take advantage of it or
Yeah.
just, you know. So
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like even like calculators, like it wasn't till
yeah,
at least till I was like maybe in high school we got to use those really fancy
the
um
TI 84, TX 84.
it was something like that, or it was called or maybe Texas Instruments or something. It was something like that. Those like I don't know if y'all got those. We got those big calculators,
Yeah.
and there was like you could do like a whole lot of those. And that right there was a whole new thing of technology because you could put equations into that thing and like, that thing
Yeah,
would
you
put
could put
stuff
like
together
a
for you.
algebra equation. You could put like
Yeah,
anything in there.
right. And so it's like at one point that probably wasn't allowed, but then at one point we got to use that during our test. So it's like maybe it's one of those things where they're just going to have to accept the fact that it's happening and then maybe.
But those calculators, that's the thing. Those calculators were never designed for students. They were designed for engineers. They're designed to make, they don't have to sit there for hours trying to come up with numbers. They can just create quick solutions, like quick results. Like they type it in, get the answer.
Mhm.
Okay, let's build this thing, you know? So it's not a
Right.
situation where, I mean, it eventually came to the students, to college students, because, well, they're going to be engineers. So they need to know how to use this new tool, this new technology to enter the workforce, right? So,
Mhm.
I mean, it's like learning any new language, programming language that comes out, you have to, a lot of schools incorporate into their lessons and their classes so that when they get hired by companies, they already know how to use it. So, I mean, it's already
Yeah.
happening. A lot of universities, they are incorporating AI as like a teaching tool and like as in something that students are going to learn so that they can take it on to when they go to the workforce and to a corporation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
So
like
crazy.
there's so many ways. There are incredible minds out there that can be creative with how they're using AI, and young people are those individuals. And if they have that creative capacity, they can really start playing with AI and creating incredible businesses. Then there's always going to be the people who create a video game that they can run for hours and hours and hours behind and forget that time exists and nature exists and people exist, and that's where they're going to be, you know?
Yeah.
Dylan, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, actually, I took I'm in a master's program for arts leadership and arts administration, and I took a marketing for the arts class last semester. And our professor is really, really big on AI, and I didn't really know much about it prior to this class, but he taught us how to create our own GBT within ChatGPT to basically create a synthetic focus group for marketing. So like you would do the work of writing a profile of who this person was that you're trying to market to. And then you could go in and ask that person questions. So it would create a synthetic person. So it eliminated a lot of time, but you still had to be creative and you still had to do the work. And I think that ChatGPT, when used right, is you are doing the work to put in the proper input and, like you said, prompting it properly and letting it, like you said, cut down on time and energy and things. And I often relate ChatGPT to like when photography came out, but painting was the majority like art form at the time. All the painters were like, well, I'm out of a job now because someone could just take a picture of a landscape and I'm not going to sit there and paint it for hours and hours and hours. When painting then became a new thing, like abstract painting, and painting transcended what it was before, even though landscape painting is still a thing. And then photography became a new thing, and that played out over the course of like a century. So I think we'll see how AI can take over certain things and how we adapt to AI and AI adapts to us, but I see it as the work is like utilizing it for inputs. And Gemma, you were talking about that survey of like kids got to use AI to write an essay and they monitored the brain activity. I'd like to see them do a study with that and see what happens when they restrict how they can use AI and what changes with their brain function. So saying you can only use it to research and find the articles. So like it does the work of finding the articles, but you still have to put in the proper prompt to find the parameters of the information that you need. And this, you still need to have the awareness of the information that you need. It just organizes it for you. So I'd be curious to see what will happen if you put restrictions and you're very, very intentional with how you use AI, how that would change brain function. And, you know, there was a whole thing with kids not being taught handwriting because there was so much typing, yet kids still know how to handwrite. It's like what I think it's just being very creative with how we use and the parameters with which we use the technology that then forms our relationship to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's a really good point.
who can't read cursive, where
Right.
like in my area of the US, cursive hadn't been a taught thing for like 10 years. At the time I was getting homeschooled. So none of
Mm,
my peers knew how to read cursive,
I
maybe
see.
just a portion of the country. But none of my peers knew how to read cursive, so I was like, why do I need to learn it? But I was learning
Right.
it, and then I could read like the Declaration of Independence, no problem, whereas they had to have it print letters written out. So things like that, that
Right.
historical study, and you get to go into more creative. I think also what you said, learning how to prompt it correctly puts you in a position of authority because
Hmm.
it is forecasting what you would have created anyways. But if
Right.
you're going to forecast what you're going to create, you can speak into existence what's going to happen and collapse time.
Right, exactly.
Really
And then you
interesting.
can manifest things quicker. Or like if you're using it in a creative way, you could say using these like visual principles of like the Fibonacci sequence, generate this many compositions and these colorways, and then you can still be creative in making the thing,
Yeah.
but it can help you with trial and error. It can help you with research. It can help you simulate things that would take a lot of time and energy to do, like these focus groups.
Right.
So I use it in an intentional way to with like the business thing, but I've stopped using it for like mundane day-to-day things that I can
There is an
use my brain
interesting
for.
element of it. I was reading just before we got on here of our ancestors went to their elders and family members for advice, whereas we now go to the computer or we go to the internet. And I thought that was so interesting. And then just a couple days ago, I was listening to another one that was talking about skin and Botox and how we're no longer understanding that the lines in our face depict wisdom that was hard-earned wisdom is represented in lines on your face. And when we look at an old person that we love, when we look at them in our mind's eye, can we remember the lines on their face or what their smile looks like? And what is the expression of the lines on their face with their smile if you just imagine them? Because that carries, like, whether we understand it or not, it's like looking at an ancient tree and knowing it's an ancient tree. So maybe there's a possibility that we can go with the power of AI being at our fingertips to turn our attention to things like this so actually can be a conversation in our community as opposed to forgetting about elders, forgetting about ancient um, nature features and things like that, where we are drawn to connect more with those fundamental primal nature elements and communal elements. And AI enables us to free our time that way. I would love to see that world.
Definitely. I would love to see that too. And this is totally off topic, but related to what you said about the Botox and wrinkles. It also shows your lived emotional experience. Like if someone has frown lines versus smile lines,
Yeah.
like that tells you a lot about the person that you are and the life that you lived. But I agree with you that the AI can be, and I would prefer it to be a way for us to connect more with the things that we would like to do and living
Yeah.
a good life.
I think we should talk about Botox or something like that in a future call. Because they're saying
Yeah.
that mothers who put Botox into their foreheads, their kids can't tell that they're mad. So the kids and mom's like freaking out, and the kids are not taking her seriously because they can't
Whoa.
being emotional.
I didn't think about that.
Everybody reflects each other's emotional expression. That's how we understand anger, joy, confusion, sadness, things like that, grief, even. We can understand it by looking at another person and reflecting it in our own face. And when that person is decapitated in a certain facial feature, either you're literally not able to reflect them anymore, so you can't understand what anger looks like on their face. I just thought that
Wow.
was so funny.
Yeah, I would love to talk
Uh,
about that.
yeah, we should do a Botox call. All right, y'all, what a great conversation. In 2 weeks from now, we're going to have a guest that hopefully we can work synergistically with Michael and Eli. If you guys have an idea of a guest on the topic of AI where we can go a little bit deeper, that's the topic for the month of August. We will have 2 calls every month from here on out until we get some feedback and we see that this pace works for us. It gives us more time to collect information, get incredible guests on so our learning can be deeper and stronger and more nourishing for our community. And we can get the word out to more of our friends, family, and beyond. Thank you guys so much for joining another week of Wellness Mavericks. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Thank you
Bye,
all.
everybody.
Bye,
Have
y'all.
a great
good
night.
one.
All right,
Thank
take care.
you,
Thanks,
Eli.
Eli. That was incredible,
So
bro.
Thanks, Eli.
I learned a ton. Thank you,
Bye, y'all.
brother.
Of course.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.